You're watching Xinhua Live. I'm Xiyue with Xinhua News Agency. We're now in Huangshan Mountain in Huangshan City, East China's Anhui province. As one of the most popular scenic spots in China, Huangshan Mountain is famous for its five wonders of peculiar pine, peculiar stone, sea of clouds, hot spring, and winter snow. And this is also a World Cultural and Nature Heritage Site, a World Geological Park, and a World Biosphere Reserve recognized by UNESCO. But in addition to the very unique views here, there are also many unique occupations on Huangshan Mountain. And today we'll meet with two people who work on the cliffs here to protect this very important UNESCO World Heritage Site. So next, let's meet with our first guest today. He is known as the Spiderman on Huangshan Mountain, Mr. 李培生。李老师您好。
你好，我是黄山风景区的一名放绳工，我叫李培生。
So Mr. Li Peisheng is working as a sanitary worker on Huangshan Mountain. So let's ask him about what he do every day. 李老师能不能给我们介绍一下您每天的工作内容有哪些？
我每天的工作是这样的，用自己制作的一个钓鱼竿，捡拾4到5米的这个垃圾。那么4到5米以外捡不到的，就是用我们身上的这个绳索。
明白。So Mr. Li told us that his work every day is basically to pick up the garbage and the debris that's being scattered on the Huangshan Mountain. And they have invented their own tool. It's called a sanitary fishing rod that's been invented by their team. Basically, they have needles in front of a normal fishing rod to pick up to hook the garbage that's about 4 to 5 meters around the roadway we usually work, but when it comes to the waste that are far from the reaches, they will use the rope on his shoulder to climb off the cliff to pick up the waste. 那您每天的工作就是捡起黄山的垃圾哈？您做这个工作多少年了？
我做这个工作已经26年了。我是97年来黄山风景区的。
So Mr. Li has been working here for about 26 years, and he came to work here in 1997 as a sanitary worker here. So usually we don't see people who work on cliffs, who climb on cliffs to pick up garbage. Let's ask him about the challenges of his work. 您觉得工作中难度最大、最有挑战性的是什么？
其实来讲，对于我们来讲，捡拾这个山上的这个悬崖上面的垃圾啊，那么可能要注意到一点就是，我们在放绳索的时候啊，撞点和人垂直的情况下，它是静止的。
So Mr. Li told us that when he climbs on the cliff to pick up the waste, the most important thing is to always keep a straight line below the point where he fixed his rope on the cliff, so that the people will not swim around when he climbs off the cliff.
如果说人要偏离了这个装点的重心，那么就是容易产生一种钟摆效应。
So basically, when Mr. Li climb on the cliff, he needs to fasten this rope, the safety belt on his waist, and the other side of the rope will be tied onto the ring that's been anchored into the rocks here. And he said that when they climbs off the cliff, they need to keep the rope very straight and keep the human body strictly below the anchor point, so that it will not create a swim effect. And people will not be swim under the cliff like a clock pendulum. 那您觉得这些年来您工作了这么久，觉得您的工作包括黄山的环境有哪些变化吗？
这个变化是很大的。就是说我们刚来黄山风景区的时候，那时候黄山就是每年进山的游客量不足80万。
So I've been told that Miss Lee has been climbing on the cliffs for over 20 years, and the total length of his climb on the cliffs here is over 1,800 kilometers here. And over the past years, Miss Lee told us that he has seen a lot of changes on Huangshan Mountain because like 2 decades ago, the annual visitors to Huangshan Mountain is less than 800,000 tourists annually.
现在正常的年份已经300多万，那么就是讲现在就是和以前相比，现在的就这个垃圾量少了，游客多了。
So Ms. Li told us that in recent years, the annual tourist number of the Huangshan Mountain has reached over 3 million annually, and even though the number of the tourists has been drastically increased, the garbage amount on the Huangshan Mountain has decreased on the opposite, which means that people's awareness of environmental protection has been increased in recent years. The garbage on the mountains has been reduced. People like Mr. Li will have to work less and climb off the cliff less every day. So let's ask him about how many times he climbs off here every day. 您每天大概要放生多少次？
现在就是正常情况下，一般放到4到5次。那么节假日的时候也有7、8次，甚至更多一点。
So basically, Mr. Li has to climb on the cliffs to pick up garbage about 4 to 5 times every day. And when it comes to peak seasons such as holidays, he will has to work more, like to 7 to 8 times every day to climb on the cliffs. So let's ask Mr. Li about the most challenging part of his work every day. 您觉得咱们工作中最难、最具有挑战性的是什么？
其实来讲，对于我们正常放绳索来讲，只要做到胆大心细就没有问题。
So Mr. Li has told us that basically the most important thing is courage while being careful, and basically it will not be any problems during his daily work when keeping those two things in mind.
因为我们这个绳索它是通过专业这个培训的，放绳啊是通过专业培训的。那么就是最主要的就是说，从绳索装点和人放下去垂直的情况下，它是静止的。
明白。So Mr. Li told us that they have to go through professional training to be a sanitary work here on the Huangshan Mountain to climb on the cliffs. And basically, you need to keep in mind that the people, when hanging down from the cliffs, the anchor point and the people needs to be on a straight line, so that he needs to be straightly behind the anchor point on the rock to keep it vertical, so that it will not create any swings.
轻则是对这个绳索的这个伤害，那么重则也危及到我们的安全。这样的话，就是产生了一种钟摆效应。
So when you swing downside hanging from the cliff, it will cause a friction and shorten the lifespan of the rope, and in very extreme circumstances, it will even be life-threatening to the workers here.
还有一点呢，就是我们在悬崖上怎样来固定，就是我们在悬崖上行走自如。
And also another important knowledge is how they keep very steady on the cliffs and work like they were walking on the ground when hanging from the cliffs.
我们觉得啊，就是在这个通过时间长，就是摸索出啊，就是两脚为2点，就是绳索为1点，这样就是形成了一个三角形。那么三角形具有稳定性。
明白。So after years of research and working to accumulate experiences, Mr. Li has found that the most stable structure is to create a triangle, that is to make the anchoring point on the rocks as one point and the 2 feet of the people working there as the 2 points. And by creating a triangle, it will create the most stable structure for people to walk on cliffs. With Mr. Li, we have learned that all the hard work they do on very dangerous and extreme situations like on cliffs is to protect the environment and to keep the atmosphere, to keep the environment here clean and to protect this UNESCO World Heritage. And also the administration department of the Huangshan Mountain has taken a lot of measures to protect environment here, such as when it comes to the most popular landmarks such as the Tiandu Peak and the Lianhua Peak. It will take a kind of very innovative measure called the rotation closed period. Basically, the two scenic spots will take turns off and rest for a period to make sure the vegetations and the environment here can be restored effectively. And next, let's follow Mr. Li to see how he does his work every day here to climb on the cliffs. 接下来李老师，咱们就跟着您一起去看一看您是怎么放绳的吧。
好，
走。
走。嗯。应该朝底下走。哎。现在还有几个垃圾哟。上，上。
胡老师，咱们的工作算是完成了，是吗？
对。
您刚刚捡到了都有哪些类型的垃圾啊？
其实这个主要是跟旅游制品有关。你比如说，那个红柳的这个易拉罐、蜡环。哦。那么这个就是像一些塑料纸啊，这个门票的那个票头啊，还有一些这个旅游这个塑料制品这些东西。
明白。 So Mr. Hu told us that basically the garbage he just picked are some tourism garbage such as plastic, paper, and ticket stubs and things like that. So thank you. 谢谢胡老师今天给我们的介绍。这种主要应该是风吹下去的，是不是？
对，大部分是风吹下去了。那么也不反认有些可能是小朋友啊，他们就是不经意的就可能把它就丢下去了。再一个还有个，因为是山域型景区嘛，因为山上的风比较大，有时候这个垃圾在这个路面上面，就是洗手的时候啊，就被风刮下去了。
So Miss Lee told us that basically major parts of this garbage are blown down by the wind, and also there are some people who littered here on the mountain. And when it happens, Mr. Lee and his colleague will cooperate together and pick up the garbage. And let's thank Mr. Lee for his hard work, for his devotion. 谢谢李老师。
不谢不谢。
And next, let's go to our next stop. Go to another special worker here on the Huangshan Mountain. So now we have come to another very famous scenic spot on Huangshan Mountain. It is called the gas grating pine, and its shape is like a tree extending its arm to welcome the guests, and that's why it got its name, the gas grating pine. And it is believed to be over 1,000 years old. And how can this ancient tree stay healthy for generations on Huangshan Mountain? So we have to talk about another special occupation on Huangshan. They are called the pine tree guardian, and basically they stay here, accompany this pine tree day after day to protect its health situation. So today we have also invited the 19th pine tree guardian to join our live streaming, Mr. 胡小春。胡老师您好。
你好。
能不能给我们介绍一下您的主要的工作内容？ So let's ask him about his main job, occupation, main work here every day.
每天的工作主要是每隔2个小时对迎客松的一些树体啊、主干啊、其周边的环境啊进行一个巡查、巡护。巡查好以后，回到迎客松保护管理科室去填写迎客松日记。最喜欢的词语就是迎客松一切正常，无异常。
明白。So Mr. Hu told us that his work every day is to patrol and observing this gas grating pine every 2 hours, and to observe the situation of the trees, such as its branches, the pine needles, and the tree barks. And later he will come back to his office to write a journal called the Gas Grating Pine Journal, to record the situation and the changes of the gas grating pine. And he told us that his favorite word is everything is normal, everything is okay, no abnormalities on this gas grating pine tree. And also he has to keep an eye on the overall surroundings of the gas grating pine tree. 咱们主要监控的内容哈，除了这个树体本身，还有它的这个周围的一些情况，是吗？
是的，主要是周围的情况呢，我们是要防止一些动物进入保护区，更好的防止它有可能上树啊。更多的还是要防止一些人员，因为毕竟育有1000年左右，我们还是让它在这个自然界正常的生长，防止人员去干扰它，让它正常的去生长。
明白。So Mr. Hu told me that he need to observe the wild animal activities around the tree, because as a World Heritage Site, the environment here is very well with a lot of wild animals living around the gas grating pine. So he has to prevent the intruding of the wild animals such as squirrels and monkeys to make damages to this ancient tree. And also another important part is to monitoring the people activities, to avoid people interfering with the growth of the gas grating pine tree. 您刚刚提到咱们有一本迎客松日记，这个有多少字了？
有从2011年开始一直到现在有84本，140万字左右。84本。
So since Mr. Hu has become the pine tree guardian here in 2011, he has kept a total of 84 journals of this gas grading pine tree with words of up to over 100 and over 1.4 million words of this journal. And over the years, I believe he has found many changes of the gas grading pine tree and also the environment in Huangshan. 这些年来，咱们的工作有哪些变化吗？
日常的变化还是一如既往的，就是日常的严格按照日常的守护来，但是我们用了一些科学的手段，更加是精准的、精细化、规范化、合理化的去管控这个迎客松。
So Mr. Hu told us that basically their work haven't changed in the overall because they have to patrol around the tree, keep an eye on these situations, but also they have experienced many technology advancement over the years, so that they have applied a lot of cutting-edge facilities to protect this gas pine tree. Let's ask him to give us some examples. 有哪些咱们的设备是新采用的比较科技化？
像我们的防侵入报警系统，更多的时候是进入保护区以后，一些如果一旦动物啊或者人员进入保护区，会随时报警的。还有一个就是我们的支撑杆件，我们是双杆讯、双球头支撑架，更好的是支撑每个枝条的。所以说这两个是或者也是一种更好的去保护好了迎客松，也是对迎客松的保护进一步的提升了。
So Mr. Hu told us that they have installed a surveillance system to monitor the environment, to monitor the overall surroundings of the tree to prevent intruding or invading such as wild animals and people activities. And also they have adopted a cutting-edge supporting frame system for the tree to give the gas grading pine tree a very solid, strong support, but also keep its natural growth so that the gas grading pine tree will grow in a relatively nature environment without any interference, but also give it a very strong support to prevent the damages from strong wind and extreme damages from such as thunderstorm or snowstorm. 这些年来哈，您也是为这个迎客松的保护付出了很多。您对我们下一步迎客松的这个保护，包括一些科研的工作，黄山的生态保护有没有一些期待？
其实保护的迎客松的守护，我还是一如既往的继续的守护着它，但更多的时候让它一些运用一些科学的手段，进一步的提升自己的保护度，想把这种绿水青山就是金山银山的理念更好的去传承发扬下去，让更多人来到黄山的人来，同时欣赏到黄山的美的同时，也感受到黄山的一些人文关怀。
明白。So Mr. Wu told us that in the future he aims to continue his daily work as usual, and that more people will have improved their awareness of the environmental protection. And also he wants more scientific measures in protecting the tree. So in recent years, we're very happy to see that with the devotion and the efforts of people like Hu Xiaochun, like Li Peisheng, and many other people working here on Huangshan Mountain, the overall environment has been improved recently. The forest coverage on the Huangshan Mountain is over 98% right now, and new species of new wild animals are being constantly discovered here in Huangshan Mountain. And thank them so much for their devotion. 谢谢胡老师您的付出。And I hope that one day all of our audience from the world can come to China and visit Huangshan Mountain by yourselves to truly appreciate the beauty here on this World Heritage Site. And thank you so much for watching today's Xinhua Live. See you next time. Bye.